Well, we need to welcome you back, and we're still with the big story for today. We're looking at the Forex crisis and the federal government move to really stabilize it. Looking at that happened on Friday. And we're talking about the revocation of license of 4,173 BDCs, and already the ripples it is causing, and many Nigerians are wondering why. But anyway, no need to wonder why, because we still have our guests here. And I'm talking of no other person but economist Gideon Oguns, helping out with the discussion. But as much as we love to talk about things, let's go get a message from our sponsors. And we'll come back, more discussion right here on the big story for today.
Oh, yeah, follow the road, auto better quality. If you talk gas matter, oh, yeah, follow Benetta. Gas with the better quality. Benetta gas, where they full rich man to Benetta gas. Every brother na shop. Different type of gas cylinder. I mean, I don't gas we go last you well. For gas matter, Benetta now do. Gas service in a them they run. Benetta make you carry go.
For gas matter and home delivery, make you wire Benetta gas plant for 080-6745-7890 and 080-5904-7722. Benetta gas plant, the tequila of gas matters.
It's colorful, so colorful, wow! It's Oza Furniture and Interior Merchant, a leading name for luxurious furniture at ultra-modern super showroom. Well-stocked is now located near you for the sales and installation of long-lasting exotic and quality interior and exterior furniture for your living space, such as foreign Turkey royal chairs and sofas, glass, wooden and marble royal dining tables and chairs, conference tables and chairs, executive office tables, reception tables, orthopedic office chairs, etc. Oza Furniture and Interior Merchant has in stock royal king-size and queen-size beds, wardrobes, mirror consoles, wall frames and artworks for decoration, wine bars, big TV shelves and TV stands, gym equipment like motorized gym bicycles, gaming chairs, treadmills, outdoor swing chairs, etc. All at affordable prices. We deliver with our vehicles. To make your home that cozy paradise, locate our super showroom along DSC Expressway opposite Platinum Banquet Place, beside Ugboloposo Junction, Efru, Delta State. Or call 0806-394-3198 or 0703-368-7179. Uzo Furniture and Interior Merchant for comfortable home interior furniture experience.
Well, we need to welcome you back. We're still the big story. We're talking about Forex crisis and the recent move by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the federal government to deal with the issues. Well, strong measures, many will say, hardline measures. Well, just like our guest said, we're really out of time, so we need to take them. But anyway, we need to continue and take more questions centered on that. And well, in case you're just joining us on the very first half of the discussion, we talked about that very move by the CBN. What will it mean for an economy that is struggling and for a naira that is losing face against the greenback? And many will say, well, anyway, it should have come and needed to come this soon. But anyway, let's come back to you and quickly ask. All this seems to be hitting the BDCs, or Bureau de Change as we call them. Many will say it looks like if it's almost under the belt, because they were not expecting almost 4,173 of them really being revoked. I'm talking about their operational license being revoked. And many will say it's all about speculations and round tipping, and that's the reason why the Central Bank of Nigeria took that strong line on Friday. But the question still remains, are they the only ones to be held accountable? Because we do know that banks are also culpable in all of this. Let's look at the fraud of the BDC is also being done by banks. And they seem to encourage it, because the question still remains. We get, CBN gives most of these banks money, but yet we do not see them in the banks. We rather see them with Bureau de Change, or BDCs as we call them. So why put a sledgehammer on a certain section of people that are culpable of a crime and let the other go?
Well, Mike, I'm sure I may not have the information that you have. So well,
finally, I've gotten
like Kodesu this morning.
Oh, okay, well,
because
sorry.
I believe seriously that the sledgehammer actually fell on the money deposit institutions. when in an attempt to sanitize what they were doing. So microfinance bank and other financial institutions were hammered.
Okay.
So they were the first. 2, you know that the commercial banks, which is just a segment of the finance market also, they are more tightly regulated. If you want to agree,
Okay.
you discover that their deposits
are being monitored.
Everything about them. So when you hear of MPRO, CRORO, all that are monitoring tools, which we call the OMO tools, by which they are monitored. So the monitoring of those people are easy. Now, if you want to be sincere, if you walk into any bank and you are wanting to transact in Forex, the informations you need to supply are much, much bigger. You don't give them those information, they are not likely to relate with you. The reason being that it must be reported within the same framework. Framework. So, but it's not so when you go to the black market or to most of the BDCs. You can just tell them any story and they are there to make
So you feel it's just totally out of the control of the CBN?
Yes.
And hence they want to...
Yes, they want to put them within a tighter control, which is right. And if they have given them between last year and now to put up what they should, and they don't, why not fire them?
We'll be having more questions that would really be firing the issue. Now, apart from the move by the CBN, this very move by the CBN to stabilize the issues of Forex, we do know the CBN has even gone out to settle some outlets and bank as it concerns Forex.
Yeah.
And all of this, like they say, is aimed at really helping to strengthen the Naira. And in all honesty, the Naira has appreciated in a bid. So we're looking at this move being taken by the CBN and some other moves being taken by them. Do you feel this move is really helping the Naira? Let's be frank.
Okay.
Just be honest with it.
Let's go with some little information.
Little information. Go ahead.
As at Monday last week, we noticed that the dollar was about 1,800.
Yes, or thereabouts.
Okay. As at this morning, if we want to be honest, the dollar is about 1,450 roundabout.
The black market I checked 1,585.
Okay. That's why I wanted to say plus minus 100 naira roundabout. So there is an appreciable fall by just 2 master strokes that have been taken. 1, the ban. 2, the work on Binance. Though this program is not concerning Binance, but at this point I need to let you know that.
Yeah, because we saw 3 of their top executives arrested on Friday. And as we speak, they are still in the custody of most of the investigators.
Even the fine of the $10 billion,
it's enough.
will still have to come through no matter what they are going to negotiate. Now, I'm bringing this because our dollar to Naira fall can, by my own analysis, be traced to the activities of these 2 people. Let me go on Binance. How come Binance will make a public statement that Nigeria is their most profitable business partners? Then you begin to think of it.
What did they trade?
They just load our Naira and make it lose face, defaced it for the benefit of their profit. And just a stroke on them, look at where we are. They may not be the only. There are other sleeves or leakages that are still
that should be
discovered. So if we keep discovering, and by the time we do 2, we gain 400 or thereabouts, and we can find another 2 or 3 and block them, and the Naira might be able to come back to about 1,000 or thereabouts. So you discover that they are doing the right thing by finding out what is giving the Naira a bad face. It is the black market, majorly controlled by the BDCs. Majorly. Because most of the people going to the black market, they just buy from anybody. But those people got their money from the dollar from somebody. They finance that. So that's where the central bank is trying to work on. And maybe that's why the sentiment is coming. But that being that, Binance have also come out. Now, other things I think they will do, permit me now to go back to the economics literature.
Yeah.
You see, when we come to macroeconomics, there are basic things, permit me to put them in four, that every government or economy usually battles. A favorable balance of payment.
Okay. When it comes to debt?
Control of price. If you like, call it inflation. So then an equitable, at least the redistribution of resources within the sectors.
All the sectors.
And lastly, an economic growth. Something that can happen.
Which
so that
every foreign institution checks.
So
and
you discover that
projections.
these four perimeters, look at them in Nigeria. And this is the central work of the Central Bank
of Nigeria.
We used to criticize Emefiele that he was a commercial bank. Now we are seeing a central bank that really want to play the role of a central bank. So why we will not score him very high? Yeah, we'll score Cardoso very high. But he's taking the templates of what a central bank should do, which is having appropriate monetary policies and monetary policy control. It is these two things that can save the naira. If we grow more and export more, we will earn more. If the condition of our balance of payment is not too adverse, we don't need debts or loans to service it. We can use our surplus to meet our needs, and so our naira will be getting stronger. Currencies over the world don't get strong because of the kind of paper they used to print them. No, they get strong by their value. The value. And what determines the value is the value you give out. So here is a government trying to face all four, which is a tall order. But the beauty of it is this government is not looking at loan like the previous, but trying to see what he can do to grow and see how equitable redistribution can be done. I think they are on the right path if they will continue.
Now, talking about the right path, and I'm also a bit confused. And my confusion stems from the tides that we attracted about $2 billion with my own investigation in foreign portfolio
investment. Yeah.
And funny enough, this $2 billion we've done, it's just this year. $2 billion this year alone. So my question is, why did that reflect in the naira and dollar?
It's reflecting. It may not trickle to prices, which is the commonest indicator, but it's reflecting. This is where you can see it now.
Well,
before 2024, our dollar obligations to foreign companies was
huge.
Humongous, was big.
It was huge. Foreign airlines, foreign...
an embarrassment. Where are we today? It's not as embarrassing as it used to be. You just hear Kodusu say, whatever is remaining of the backlog, 5 banks, they are going to work within a few coming days, weeks, to put that behind us. Meaning that that inflow of dollar, properly managed, have been able to resolve those differences, because those people's money must be paid in dollars, not in naira. So if we were not owing such a huge,
imagine what that money would have made.
But we were owing, well, now we are paying, and let's assume the Qatar trip brings in any kind of...
Now, we had a Qatar trip based on, well, we still have some financial understanding, education and the rest.
At the end of the day, if we continue at this trajectory that we are going, the chances that the naira to dollar exchange rate would become a little more favorable. We'll get there.
Okay. But anyway, in case you're watching and listening to us, it's Quest Today. And we're looking at the Forex crisis, and not just the Forex crisis, but also taking a stand on what it should be. And the federal government taking some drastic measures just like the one they took on Friday, closing shop about 4,173 bureau de change. And then is it going to have an impact? Just like my guest said, well, it will have if managed well, and might not have if not managed well. But it's only well we talk about it to see how far it can help to shore up the naira that have lost face over the greenback in the coming in the past few weeks. But let's come back to it, because I'm still a bit concerned. Like we did make mention today, the naira is appreciating, in all honesty. In the black market, like I said, it's about 1,585, well, thereabout. And like you said, just a week ago, it was 1,800. So that means 200 naira gain is something, especially as it is with us today. But let's look at it. In your own honest view, do you see it continue to have strength? With some of these measures being taken, with some that are likely come, do you see these balancing out at the end of the day, in the coming weeks ahead?
Yeah. Again, my answer...
if my PD is there, I rather want him to, yes.
My answer will be yes or no.
Yes.
Yes and no.
Well, that's more like sitting on the fence.
I'm not sitting on the fence, because these are causative things. There are certain things that will happen and it will be very good. There are other things that they allow to happen, and not the gain we are talking about is white one. So I'm trying to say that if we tame the causative factors, which generally are exogenous in nature,
okay, then
we'll be able to. But I have a little fear. If I want to take a side, I will look at the negative.
Okay, go ahead.
In the last monetary policy committee meeting, the rise of interest rates by 400 basic points is a little bit too high. Should it have risen? Yes. Okay? But rising to that point is too much. Why? Inflation is a major driver of where we are today. Producers are having challenges already. Now, the cost of capital have further increased. What does that translate to?
You bring down your...
People either will choose within producing at the higher cost or stepping down production to be able to leverage at where they are. Either of the two will not do the economy well.
At all.
If they choose to stay where they are going to retrench.
More workers will be let go.
If they choose to go up, the cost of borrowing has gone up. Anywhere you go, the final payer of that money is the last consumer. And so, price have not been addressed. And the price is not addressed. Sales have not been addressed. Welfare have not been addressed. So, I think they have to do a regime. I know they are
but don't you think they did that by increasing it to deal with the issue of
mop up?
Yes, mop up, yes. Which they've done in the last few weeks. They've mopped up a whole lot. I like they mopped up almost 1 or 2 trillion naira.
I'm not arguing. I told you that going up was not a bad idea. But getting to that height, I'm quarreling with the point it went to. It will have been fragmented. Let's assume this year. Yeah, we have it at, it's going to end at 400, but build it gradually. All this. Okay, so look at the market indices, look at how it has performed, then you add or reduce. Yes, so that this is exactly what we did to the petrol subsidy. And the effect is still being felt. Are still here. Well, we shouldn't do the same. We shouldn't do the same. Everybody knew the subsidy should go, but the pattern of it went is what brought us here. If we have faced it, okay, gradually start with the refineries, so those are the kind of things I don't want them to repeat. If they don't repeat them, then at the end of the day, the impact will be very beautiful. That's why I told you they are causative. It is something that you are bringing into the game that is causing it to happen.
Well, we'll still need to talk about that and see where we'll go on it. But I'll beg you that we need to go on a break now again. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion centered on the Forex crisis. And, well, the moves being taken by this administration, especially the central bank, are they really making it look more like putting down the hammer as it should be? Or would they need to jeje, as we call it, to see whether things will really work well? Let's go on the break.